Isolation interview for the second day of the championships and further Kiwi success on the program. Mark Lupton joins me to talk through what has been a massive day for you, Mark, and your family. I imagine your bubble almost burst this afternoon.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting times, Bevan. It was only Kath and I in the house and a couple of little dogs, and they were doing a lot of barking and we were doing a lot of yelling. So it's a bit surreal, really. You dream of days like this, and we took a punt, our partners and us, sending her over there, and it's all paid off today.
They tell me, or you told me earlier on today, that there wasn't a lot thought of Etah James in the early stages of her career.
No, I gave her 4 trials, and I had a couple of fellas tell me that she wouldn't win a race in New Zealand, let alone Australia, because I told them I was sending her to Aussie, or my partners and I were. And when I sent it to Matt, I said, I think she'll need 2 miles in a heavy track. And she won 5 of her first 7 starts on good 3s, I think. So you just never know.
She got injured over there before coming back to take out the Pakenham Cup. Also went really nice in the Sandown Cup.
Yeah, what happened, Bevan, we were aiming her for the Caulfield Cup. When was that, 18, I guess, 2018. And we took her up to Sydney for the St Ledger and another race. And something went wrong. We don't know what. She just, in her off shoulder, there was a problem, or on her off side. And we took her back to Melbourne, and Linda Meach rode her on Cup Day, and she just got off and she said, this horse is not the same. So I talked to Matt, we chucked her on a plane, brought her home. And with the help of our local vet called Ronan Costello and Lisa Anderson, who trained just up the road from us, we diagnosed the problem as in her off shoulder. And so Ronan's advice was to put her on a walker and equisage, and that's where Lisa Anderson came in. She kept her at her place for a couple of months for me, and then we had a girl called Tui Miles riding her for us at the track. We just bring her into the track 1 day a week, then 2 days, and I ended up giving her 4 starts, and she ran second at Ellerslie, and I chucked her back on a plane and sent her back to Matt, and ended up winning the Pakenham Cup, and she ran in the Bagot on New Year's Day, and the race wasn't run to suit her. And we were going to have a crack at Adelaide, and my partners and I just decided the Auckland Cup was a Group 1. So we thought we'll bring her home and have a go, and which we did. And she raced with credit, probably a little bit unlucky maybe, just the way the race was run. But she pulled up so well. I just talked to the boys and I said, let's send her to Kieran and David and have a crack at the Sydney Cup. And the rest's history, as they say.
Okay, how hard was it logistically to get the horse over with the times that we're in at the present moment?
Yeah, I rang Sharon McDowell at New Zealand Bloodstock, and she booked her on the first plane, which was on the Monday, 8 days after the Cup. But that plane was cancelled, and I thought, oh no, here we go. And then on the Tuesday, I got a ring from Sharon to say, get your horse ready. The truck's going to be there in 2 hours. So the horse was in at Karen Fursden, so I whipped into Karen's and we grabbed her out of the paddock and knocked a bit of dirt off her and oiled her hooves, and she was on the truck and got to Sydney on the last plane.
Okay, a couple of questions for you around today's race. Bossy got off and obviously was pretty glowing in the praises of the track work leading into the race, and the other factor was the price that she went out at paying. There just seemed to be no real respect in the market for her.
Yeah, she's never really commanded a lot of respect by the betting public, which surprises me a bit because, she's gone some great races. But Bossy rode her in a trial over there on the Kensington track a couple of weeks ago. Happy Clapper won it, and they ran some real time, and she rattled home for 4th. He never moved on her. And then he galloped her on Saturday morning with a 0, and she put him to bed. And he got off and said to Annabelle, this horse will be 1, 2 or 3. That's how confident he was. And then he galloped her again on Tuesday and gave the thumbs up. He was really happy with her. So, yeah.
Okay,
it's been a good result.
Well, talk to me about today's race. Rain came. Were you happy with how the race planned out under Glenn?
I was, yeah. She's a mare that's always gone best when she's been on the speed. Linda Meach has always ridden her really well, and she's led all the way a couple of 3 times on her. She won a Group 3 at Adelaide leading all the way and race at Caulfield. And Fred Kersley won the Pakenham Cup on her, and he trailed second and just kept her rolling. She's a mare that can hit the flat spot at the 800, and you've got to be aware. And I just said to Annabelle, I said, just make sure Bossy knows to just to watch her, but he had her just travelling sweetly all the way. And I took a lot of confidence from her Avondale and Auckland Cup runs where she came from off the pace and made a lot of ground. So, yeah, that gave me a lot of confidence. She has won 6 races on good ground, but she's shown form on wet tracks with limited opportunities. So I was never really worried about the track conditions. In fact, I thought it might hinder some of the others and help us a bit better. And maybe that was the case. But at the end of the day, she's just too good. And the Kiwis were 1 and 2. She was back a bit further than I would have probably liked, but she was travelling sweetly. And when you got somebody like Boss on board, well, you know, he's an expert 2-mile rider. And he's, as Kieran Maher said to me before the race, he's in terrific form today. And when he's in that sort of form, he's hard to beat. So, yeah, look, I thought he rode her an absolute treat.
Group 1, 2-mile winner. How does that feel, mate?
Pretty exciting, Bevan. I've run second in an Auckland Cup. I've run second in an Avondale Cup. I've never won a Group 1, but yeah, it's pretty nice to get that one today. Okay,
we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I imagine, is it a pipe dream? I think one Lupton, well, I know one Lupton's been up to the Melbourne Cup. Is that a pipe dream?
Yeah, no, look, I think I spoke to Annabelle a week or 10 days ago, and I said, look, we're not in a hurry to breed from this mare. If she goes well enough in the Sydney Cup, we'll keep her and we'll have a go in the spring. I was thinking Metropolitan St Ledger, but I'd say we're qualified for Melbourne now, and there may not be the Northern horses this year, Bevan, with what's been happening. So, you know, it might be a great year, great opportunity to have a crack in Melbourne. So I guess that's what we're looking at. She'll have a little break now. I'll talk to Kieran and his team, and we'll decide with my 2 mates, and Kath and I will have a bit of a discussion and see how long we turn her out for. But it won't be too long. She puts on the beef pretty quick. So, and you know, the spring will be here just round the corner. It won't take long.
It won't be long. So what's your connection to Snowy? Nephew?
Uncle. Yeah, I'm Snowy's nephew. He was my uncle.
Okay. And so Jamie Lee is just she's a, what would she be?
Second cousin, third cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they certainly know how to train a stowaway. Hey, congratulations. It's a big thrill for us Kiwis. We're trying to stay positive, and seeing that sort of success in Australia has given us all a thrill this Saturday.
Yeah, that's great. I'm happy to do it. It's great for the Kiwis, and no racing on here. I've had about 100 texts tonight from my mates, you know, saying, God, it's given us something to watch today. So, yeah, it's been a big thrill. And
okay,
yeah,
enjoy your bubbles.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. This roast pork's looking pretty good too, mate.
Okay, I'll let you get to it. Congratulations.
Thanks, Bevan. Cheers, mate.